This is life. You win some, you lose some. It's not that when you lose it's the end of the world or it's the end of the day or you can't do anything else. When I went to the Olympics for the first time, I went in as an underdog. Like nobody expected a medal. Next time I want to get that gold back home. There is a connection where it gives you that confidence when you wear something. I think it's with Titan and also on court. It gives you that confidence to go much further.
Hello and welcome to Titan Wear Your Story. I'm Ridhima Pathak. Now, why this podcast, you ask? Well, the answer is rather simple. This is not here's how I made it kind of chat. This is about how you wear your style, your confidence, your lessons, your struggles, your wins, and you still own the room. And to kick off this podcast, I've got with me the powerhouse herself. The only Indian woman to have won 2 Olympic medals is none other than PV Sindhu.
Hello.
PV, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So it's called Wear Your Story podcast. What does this phrase mean to you?
I think it all starts off as a small young girl where I started playing badminton at the age of 8. And then I think I've never expected that I would come so far and get here. I am with 2 Olympic medals, but initially started off for fun. But then, if I look back, I must say that it has given me a lot of experience, a lot of confidence, and a lot more. I think I wouldn't have asked for more, and it all started off as a 8-year girl, and here I am in front of everyone.
This is something that, as a country that we're celebrating of the person that you've become. But if you had to just dive a little back and go deeper, and, I would imagine that you've not had a simple childhood like the way we are born and raised. It must be different. Do you think you missed out on something? And what was that childhood like?
Yeah, initially, when I started playing, my friends used to tell me, like, near my house, they used to be like, every day you go for training, why don't you come out and play with us? Or, let's go for movies, let's go out for dinner. But I think at that point, maybe for a second, I thought, oh, maybe. But I think when I look back, I don't feel like I don't regret anything in life. So, it is different, but at the same time, I've achieved a lot more where not many has achieved.
Where was that first spark that came by in your childhood where you thought that this is where I belong?
So, initially I started off for fun when I was 8 years old. And of course, my parents were volleyball players. So I would say that I'm lucky in a way because both my parents were sports persons. So I think sports, was in the blood. So I think initially started off for fun, but then I continued playing because, when my dad used to play volleyball, besides there was a badminton court. So that's how I started going regularly every single day. And I've got that interest. And I've never took any other sport apart from badminton. But a lot of people, in fact, ask me or question me that, why not volleyball, why badminton? Yeah. But I think it was my own interest, that I've stepped into badminton and I've liked that and I've never looked back.
Now, you mentioned about your parents, both of them from the sports background. Were they very encouraging of you to become a sports person, or did they say, nahi, pehli padhai khatam kar lo, uske baad aage?
I think they never had expectations at that point of time. In fact, nobody had expectations. Like, for example, in 2016, when I went to the Olympics for the first time, I went in as an underdog. Like, nobody expected a medal. Like, nobody even thought. But all of a sudden, when I actually got a silver, suddenly the expectations are a lot more. The pressure is a lot more. People expect everything. Every time you go for a tournament, they're like, okay, Sindhu is going to win gold. At times it might not happen, but that is the expectations from the people.
Yeah.
At the same time, like even in studies, touchwood, I've done well and I've never looked back. And my parents said that, you have to have minimum qualification. And of course, I've completed my MBA and it just went in a very smooth way. So that way, I think my parents never pushed me completely saying that you have to do it, but they were like, just do what you feel like doing. So
So there are a lot of attributes about you that have made you a champion. Actually, one of them, you've touched upon it. You spoke about the 2013 one where you were the underdog going in. You've always been an underdog, even during a match. You're like a match point down. You're probably 5-6 points deficit, and then you come back and you win. And not just do you win, but you also kind of put a lot of pressure on the opponent to get that win. Where is that coming from? What is that self-talk that you're doing?
There is a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I would say that, even in pressure, it is important just to play your game. That is all matters. I think that's the secret, I feel, because there is nothing apart from that. Because I know what I have trained, I know what I have done in my practice sessions. I just have to implement that on the court. Sometimes it might happen, sometimes it might not. I know sometimes, in pressure, you might not be able to move, or you might not be able to even play your 100%. People say that, you play brilliantly in practice, but what happens to you in the match? Because there is pressure. I mean, there is so much pressure that, you go onto the court and you just get stuck on court. You can't even move. So at that point of time, you just have to think that, whatever I have learned in my training sessions, I'm just gonna implement that in the match. And obviously strategy is a thing where you have to apply it. You just can't play blindly. So, you go out there, discuss with your coach, like what to play. You have plan A, you have plan B. If one doesn't work, you shift to another. But at the end of the day, you have to just play your game. That is it. That's all matters at the end of the day.
So, Pivi, when you look back at your career, you played some crazy matches. You played some insane matches, especially that 6-year period where you won world championships and 2 Olympic medals. It has been at the word go. Which matches really stood by you, where you had to really put every cell in your body on the court?
It starts off with 2013, the World Championships. I think it gave me a lot of confidence. And starting off with that, again, 2016, where my life has changed completely. And I think 2019, I would say, is another one, because I've had 4 World Championship medals already, and
Right.
I was fighting for the gold because I had no gold at that point. I had 2 silver, I had 2 bronze, but for me it was very, very important, because that 2019 was like, just give out your 100%. That is it. That's all matters. Nothing else. Do or die.
Yeah.
That was the only situation for me. So I think that's obviously a milestone for me to get that gold back home. And of course, the 2021 was completely different. If you ask me, was 2016 hard or was 2021 hard? I would say 2021, because it's much more harder. Where in 2016 I already knew that we had a medal for the country. It was gold or silver. But in 2021, it was like I was having a medal or nothing.
Yeah.
So that was obviously the hardest between 2016 and 2021.
So here's the question, right? How do you motivate yourself for Tokyo when you're already an Olympic medalist? How do you still go back to the practice session and go like, we'll do it one more time?
I think when I played the 2016 and got the first medal, that was silver. Obviously, I missed out gold.
Yeah.
So I was like, next time I want to get that gold back home. So I think that was the motivation that kept me going. I know people told me that, you have everything, you won everything, what else you need? But I think I was chasing for that another medal that, I want to, and I know that I can. So I think that kept me going every single day. See, Olympics comes once in 4 years, and it's not a joke. Like, you have it or you don't. That is all.
So all the more respect, Pivi, that, you're training for a sport where you have a chance to win a medal for the country that comes every 4 years.
Yeah.
On top of that, there is a pandemic, right? What was that period like?
Well, it was hard because, we were all were training, and I think July was the Olympics happening back then in 2020. And in June, if I remember, like April, May, it was still like, okay, what's going to happen? But finally, June, they were like, it will postpone. And it was really sad because I was completely fit 100% because you don't know how is it going to be the next 1 year. You might have an injury, you might be at your 100%, you might not, you might be mentally strong, you might not be physically strong enough. So there are so many aspects to it. So obviously it hit me really hard, But at the same time, you just have to think that, it is okay, where you also have to take care of yourself.
So maybe let's shift gears a tad bit. From your career, let's head towards your style. And I really feel that, after 2016, there was a lot that changed you also in the way you were looking. From the baddie clothes, it became a little more like glam, stylish. What changed? What went through your mind?
Well, I don't know. It has changed where my life has changed after 2016. I think style also changed automatically. But I think it's good to, dress yourself because, not only just being or wearing sporty look. I know we're always 24/7 playing sports. But I think this is something different where I just love to dress up. So.
And we love it too. Well, all athletes have that one accessory, or there'll be a certain ritual that they'll do because it's superstitious. Is there an accessory that you have that you always carry with yourself for your matches or anything else that's important?
Of course, earrings.
Yeah.
And I think also a watch. Of course, I'm wearing it now as well, Titan. So I think it's nice to wear watches where actually it connects with the time, and also you travel a lot. And I think at the same time, it's good to have, or it's good to wear different styles, different watches altogether.
Do you think, as a female athlete, when you were growing up or in major tournaments, style can be a double-edged sword, especially because as a woman, maybe if you're too stylish, you're probably not taken that seriously? Have you ever faced that?
I don't think so. I think obviously you have to be stylish. You have to show yourself up there because I think style is something where that gives you confidence. And at the same time, I mean, if you feel comfortable in what you wear and show up, then why not? Whether if it's on court or off court.
Okay, so if you had to define that your game has a certain style, what kind of a style would you say it is?
When you ask me about the game in sport, like on court, yes, it is aggressive and attacking. But I think when it comes to the style part, it's more of you have to be comfortable in what you wear.
Yeah, I feel it's very sophisticated, your style. But considering your height, has there been sometimes an issue of a certain selection of a wardrobe?
No, I mean, obviously you have to pick and choose what you wear. But I think, again, height is a very big advantage. And I feel wow about it. So.
So one part of your style and your fashion actually made the world go gaga, especially some. In fact, I was checking out those pictures a lot because that was a different side of you that I saw, which were your wedding looks. Take me through the process of selecting those looks. Was it completely your choice or someone helped you out? What was it like?
Of course, it was my choice, like what color to be worn, or let's say it depends on, every different event. I think I wanted it that way because, of course, it's my wedding. So I choose it myself. And so the outfits were of my choice. And of course, the destination and everything was my husband's choice. So we took parts of, everything. But I love to dress up. And I thought, this is the time I can actually show up and just do whatever I like. So.
It was stunning. You carried it rather well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's talk about your time, all right? Is there a time in your life where you faced a certain opponent and you felt like this is where I need to go back and sort of restructure my game a little?
I think every time I lose, I think that because I feel that, oh no, I should have gone back and changed something. Because, when you lose, you actually learn from your mistakes, what mistakes you've done. If you win, everything is good and everything goes well. But I think time heals everything. And again, time changes everything. Time changes your life. Time changes, the way you play. Time also teaches you and gives you that experience. So there are matches where I lose and I think back that, I should have or I could have changed something at that point of time.
For example?
For example, let's say in 2016, when I lost the third game against Carolina in the finals of the Olympics, I thought maybe, I could have changed something after that 11 points.
But as an athlete, there's a very different relationship that I see that most athletes have with time. When you start off, you're chasing it is because by the time you're 30, they say it's time to retire. Right? So the lifespan is rather short. There comes a time when you become champions and you become the master of time.
Yeah.
And then there is a certain time that after retirement, you have to be in peace with who you were and reinvent who you would become. What is your relationship with time right now and how's it been?
Well, time has taught me a lot. Time has taught me when I was at my peak where I was winning the World Championship medals back to back or the Olympic medal. I think at that point of time, time has taught me a lot. Time has given me a lot of confidence and experience. I mean, there was time where, like last year, there was time where, I was injured and it was really, really hard for me to come back. And time has taught me patience, and it made me believe that I can still do it. And I think now time is teaching me that you need to bounce back much more stronger.
Since you're talking about that, there have been a series of losses that people are talking about, and people also say that her time is up.
Yeah.
But there is no, and I truly believe that one moment or that one phase can never define an athlete,
True.
especially when you've not gone through the journey
Yes.
that he or she has gone through.
Yeah.
What is your response to it?
They might say 1,000 things because they're not in your place,
In
and
your
they
shoes.
don't know what is going on behind the scenes or how you practice or what you do, because the losses are not that what defines you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It also builds character.
exactly.
It also builds
Exactly.
character. But is there a process that you have that resets the clock during these difficult times to get you back to your rhythm?
I just tell myself that it's okay. There's always another way. Then there's always a second chance. And every time I lose, I go back, train much more harder, learn from my mistakes, and come back stronger. Because, you lose. This is life. You win some, you lose some. It's not that when you lose, it's the end of the world or it's the end of the day or you can't do anything else. It is bound to happen. It is okay. You have to trust the process and just move on. That's the only way.
Who are the people in your life that you bounce your feelings with?
Of course, my husband now and my parents, who understand really well, and of course my team, my coach, my physio and my trainer, because they know what it takes to become a champion. And at the same time, when you are right there are also times where you're injured and they've seen you at your low and they've seen you at your highs. So I think these are my people, like my husband and my family, who I actually tell them and share what I feel.
Yeah. Also, this has been your career. You're still in it, but there's also an important step that you've taken, that you're going ahead and starting your own academy.
Yeah.
Right? It's very important for legends like you to contribute to shape the culture of this sport, an Olympic sport in our country. What do you think is going to be different about your academy, and what's your intent?
With whatever knowledge I have, I just want to put it out there to the youngsters and make sure they have good facilities, because a lot of people complain that we don't have this or we don't have that. But I think as Olympic medalists or as elite athletes, I think it is our duty to shape the youngsters and that's how train them and train their minds and guide them in a right way. I think that is the whole agenda behind it, where I would want to give back to the sport, and I think it's time to give back to the sport now.
Very well done, right? It
Thank
is
you.
a huge contribution. You spoke about youngsters. Who do you see in the next gen who can now win a medal for India?
In men's, I can see, let's say, Lakshya is doing well, and after that, the youngster called Ayush Shetty is doing really well, and a lot of coming up. And of course, in women's, there's Unnati, there is Malavika, and there are a lot of other girls as well. And I can say that, and I can assure you that in the next coming years, there will be a lot of medals, and I hope there will be a lot more getting medals for our country.
Now, just like the sport, you are someone that the whole country, 1.4 billion people, associate a lot of hopes and pride and joy, just like the brand Titan, of course. How does it feel carrying this responsibility both on and off the court?
I think on court, first let me come to the on court part. I think it's a proud moment for me carrying the responsibility. Again, I would not say that, I would not complain that there is a lot of pressure. It's nothing that I'm complaining about, but it's in a way it is good. Sometimes you do really well when you're under pressure. You are extra careful about everything. But I think off court, I think it's really good to take that responsibility, because when you actually go out there, firstly, I do really love Titan. The styles that they make, and again, it depends on every occasion and what you wear or what you feel like wearing. It gives you that confidence. And I think one thing that I should summarize is that, there is a connection where it gives you that confidence when you wear something. I think it's with Titan and also on court. It gives you that confidence to go much further.
Well, we hope that you keep going further, keep carrying the pride, the joy, and of course, the person that you are. You wear your story on court and off court beautifully.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Keep
Thank
up the
you.
style of life, PB.
Thank you.